Hey guys, this is Rusty from Rusty and Billy's Wrestling Adventure. I want to welcome you guys to this new thing we've got going here. This isn't our first official show, but we did want to kind of do a test run on our audio. Future episodes we are going to incorporate video and everything, but y'all kind of hang on with us, buckle up, man, and enjoy the ride. This is going to be fun. Two diehard wrestling enthusiasts that are very opinionated. So we look forward to sharing our opinions with you guys. We look forward to y'all sharing y'all's opinions with us. And who knows where this thing will take us, but we're excited. We did want to kind of go ahead and jump in, even though we're not ready to completely launch. We wanted to throw out an audio-only episode just because there's so many exciting things happening in the WWE right now. And with it being the end of the year, jumping into the road to WrestleMania, you can't miss any of that, but we cannot do justice to anything going on in WWE without hitting on John Cena's retirement. Saturday night's main event last week, John Cena's last match versus Gunther. Billy, I know you watched it. I know you've got your take on it. I've got my take on it. So let's just jump right into Cena and the final match. And I got to know, Billy, how did you feel about Cena's last match in WWE?
Well, everybody has an opinion about it, one way or another, whether they liked it, whether they didn't. This should have been that way, if this should have been the other way, etc., etc. I figure, why should we be any different? Let's hit the air early to, no, number one, test equipment, but number two, we have to talk about John Cena.
Absolutely.
Even though we are a week removed, we can't be left out of the conversation. How I felt about it personally, I feel like the bulk of us knew going into Saturday night's main event, Gunther is going to destroy John Cena. I don't think there was any question about that. I know we all had hope, and anything can happen in the WWE. However, this is the most no-fun wrestler of all time, being Gunther, the ring general, an unstoppable force 98% of the time, to say the least, unless you're Jey Uso at WrestleMania. But I figure the consensus was Gunther was going to beat down John Cena. We weren't going to get the ticker tape parade, Cena hoisted on the shoulders exit that we all would have liked to have seen and hoped for. So I figure we all kind of knew it was going to be an L for Cena in his last match. I did not expect for the man that preached never give up for the last 20 years to actually give up, to literally tap out with a smile on his face, no less, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And yeah, that was that. So everybody else's face in the crowd that night, and you saw them, everybody from Tyrese Halliburton to every small child.
All
Folks,
the legends in the front row.
folks that had tears in their eyes, yeah, in shock and just dismay and disbelief, as was I. I expected, once Gunther got his hooks locked in with his sleeper hold, that Cena would pass out and not give up, but would rather pass out. I couldn't believe that he smiled when he did, and then the gentle tap, and that was it. That was a career.
So I gotta interject on something you said there, because I agree with you. I think everybody knew Cena was going to take the L. I don't think anybody was really surprised. I think the shock came in the fact that the match was a little more competitive than I expected. A part of me thought it would be more of a squash match. I thought Cena would hit his highlight moves. I thought he would have a few of those, but I thought the passing of the torch, so to speak, to Gunther would have been more of a squash. I'm glad it wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad it wasn't. Because honestly, I was kind of dreading the main event of Saturday Night Main Event, because I thought Cena cannot go out just getting demolished. So I was happy to see that there was some fight. And then it kind of stirred up that little kid in me, that little WWE fan as a youngster, because you start thinking, oh my God, maybe they will have him win it. Maybe Cena will pull it off. Maybe he will go out on the shoulders of all the superstars and they hoist him around the ring and carry him out. Like, I held on to that little bit of hope. And as the match went on, that hope just grew and grew and grew. And when Gunther kept getting him in the sleeper, I thought, okay, well, this is it. He's going to pass out. The ref will raise his hand. It'll drop. Match over. Career over. Thank you, Cena. But he kept fighting. He kept fighting. When he stood up that last time, I thought, oh my God, he's going to hit the AA and he's going to win this match. And he fell to the ground. And as soon as you saw the look on his face, I just was like, oh my God, and then he tapped the arm of Gunther, and the smirk. And I think the big thing is I've seen online everybody trying to interpret the smirk, and I've seen the interview with Cody Rhodes where he talked about what it meant, and I loved his take on it. But for me, it was almost like, okay, Super Cena is checking out. How'd you feel about the look?
Well, for one, I did not expect it to be a squash match. I expected fully that we would have a back and forth struggle between Cena and Gunther. I expected that we would have moments where Cena would keep kicking out, keep kicking out. He would find ways to not submit, not submit. And we had those moments, more than one. As the match went on, kind of like you just mentioned, hope grew. Hope grew more and more alive as it went on. The last time that Cena was in the sleeper hold and his arm went down once, went down twice, the third time he held up the three fingers,
I
hosted loyalty
love
and
that. I
respect.
love that.
That was the moment I was like, okay, this is it. It's either going to go one way or the other. But I fully expected Gunther to get the best of Cena. I just did not expect that he would get it the way that he got it. Um, I was just shocked at the tap out. However, that being said, I also know John Cena. And you know John Cena, and we all do. And if I'm Cena, well, if I'm me, I'm also thinking, what's the biggest and best thing we can get out of this? Cena's going on, retiring. It wouldn't help Gunther at all if, first of all, if Gunther lost, it wouldn't help Gunther at all. It just wouldn't. When Gunther lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, it kind of derailed him for a little bit. Whereas before, he was just this unstoppable force. Nobody could beat him, nobody could touch him, and he was just an entity all to himself. Gunther needs to get back on that track. What better way to do that? He already retired Goldberg earlier in the year. To retire John Cena, only one person is going to claim that that title that you claim that you emptied John Cena's tank.
Yeah.
That's Gunther.
Kind of like ending the WrestleMania streak for The Undertaker.
Yes, and I was there.
Oh,
and
God,
I
don't
was
even.
there, and it was, let me tell you, if that's not the most shocking moment in the history of the business, let alone WrestleMania, I don't know what is. I was there. You could hear a pin drop in the Superdome. It was like a mistake.
I almost threw my remote through the television.
It was. I could not
tells you
believe
anything.
it. I thought it was a mistake. I thought he just didn't kick out, and the ref accidentally counted three. You know, that. We'll talk about that another time.
Definitely will be time for that one down the road, for sure.
But going back to what's the most we can get out of this? We can get Gunther back on track. We can even surpass what he's done up to this point. For you to say that you retired John Cena, what bigger accolade can you have in this day and age? And that's exactly what he did. And how Gunther conducted himself on Raw 2 nights later, drinking up the fans' tears pretty much, just shoving it in everybody's face.
Well, that's kind of where I wanted to go after you when you started kind of going into building Gunther and talking about being the unstoppable force. My issue with Gunther has just always been his character has just bored me to tears. It just bored me to tears. Now, I will say when he first came out and they were Imperium and all that, I hated him. I would literally get up and go get a drink or something during their part of the show because it was just boring.
Well, you were supposed to hate them.
Right.
Their deal is what they do in the ring. The mat is
Right.
sacred. They don't have to be a flashy character for you. They don't have to
Right.
cut these amazing promos.
But what I love that they did with Gunther is they've kind of given him a little edgy character with this Cena retirement. I loved the coming out in the ring and mocking. I loved when he went and got in his car and he turns around at AJ Styles and rolls his window down and does the "you can't see me" and laughs and rolls off. Seeing some character progression there and getting a little personality out of Gunther has really got me on the Gunther train as far as being a top heel. Like it's kind of swayed me in that direction. I never thought I would look forward to a Gunther segment, but once I started seeing some of that character, just and they don't have to go overboard with it, but like you said, kind of drinking the tears of the fans, like mocking the fans with it.
Went back for a second.
It was I really love the character progression that they're doing right now with Gunther, and just giving him a little personality. I think that's something that he was missing, was just a little personality. And so I like it. I'm looking forward to Monday night again, to see what does he do next? What does he say next?
Yeah, and that's what we got out of it. And that's
Right.
what Cena basically gave to us when he tapped out. He put Gunther over that big and that strong.
Yeah.
And if you're someone that has done that to John Cena, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to go over the top with it. You're going to go overboard with it. Go overboard with it's what I'm
Right.
saying. And my gosh, what do you got left to lose at this
Absolutely.
point? There's nothing to lose. You've done the one and only thing that no one else could do in this day and age. I mean, it's going to be a long time before we see someone retire, someone the caliber of John Cena, the next 20 years probably, maybe 10 or 20. I don't know, whoever sends Roman packing or Cody packing maybe. But yeah, I mean,
Do you think there's any truth to the rumors of Gunther retiring Lesnar at SummerSlam?
I haven't heard those rumors actually.
I've read a couple articles, and so it's almost like they're like how Randy Orton was the legend killer. It's almost like, okay, he retired Goldberg, he retired Cena. Can he retire the Beast? Might be an interesting road to take with him. Not sure that how true the rumors are, but I'm not a Lesnar guy, so I wouldn't care to see that myself.
Well, Gunther and Lesnar's a match we've got to see regardless. And we
100%.
when Lesnar kind of disappeared in 22, or I'm sorry, 23 rather, one of the heartbreaks of that was like, oh, we're not going to see Gunther and get to see Gunther and Lesnar now. Now we have a chance to get to see Gunther and Lesnar. Hopefully we get to see it one way or another in whatever capacity.
Yeah.
Whether it's Brock's last match or what. I haven't seen or heard those rumors. I don't really kind of buy into see a lot of rumors anyway because I like to watch the product as a fan and not have an idea and know what's going on. I don't like that part of the business.
I get sucked into the social media rabbit hole all the time. So I'm reading this article, that article, and just kind of, man, is there truth to that? That's an interesting theory. And then you read a total counter argument over here. Dang, well, that's an interesting theory. So sometimes I do like to go down those and then watch the product and see, which one carries weight and which one was just kind of off the wall stuff. But
yeah, and sometimes you can't keep from it either.
right.
If you turn your phone on for any number of seconds, you see something. So you can't hide your eyes from all of it. But I like to be legit, full on surprised. I don't want to know what's going on. I want to. I don't want to see the signs out in front of me. I just want to keep going and just enjoy the ride. When the Hardys returned at WrestleMania 33, everybody knew they were in Orlando, and they thought they left. And then they returned at WrestleMania, and I jumped up and down in my living room. I don't know about you, but it was a great moment. When Edge returned after being out for 9 years, we
Edge
thought
at the
he was
Royal Rumble.
done, retired in 2011. This is the 2020 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
No one knew that Edge was even planning a comeback, or nobody knew anything.
No, I mean, you thought nothing. Medically he couldn't wrestle.
And all of a sudden here he comes out in gear. I'm like, what's he doing in gear?
Oh, when his music hit.
And he's full on back? You mean back? Like, oh my gosh, one of the greatest moments of all time and one of the best surprises in a long time. That's how I like to watch and follow the product. I don't want to know everything going into it.
My sister's a big Edge fan, and so we were watching Royal Rumble right here in my living room, and when that music hit, we were both just like, oh my God, what is this real? Is this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that was, I'm like you though, like I don't like spoilers. Like I said, I will read different theories, but I don't want to know, like right now I'm having to be careful watching videos because they pre-tape some shows.
Yeah.
And there's video segment all over the internet, and I'm like, I just have to stay off of them. Don't click.
Yeah, it's the bane of our existence.
Yeah,
it really is. That's why I'm not a fan of the Meltzers and the like of the world. First of all, Dave just reports whatever somebody tells him is fact and doesn't. But stuff like that, it's one thing to want to know more and learn about the inner workings of the business. Let's find out about it after the fact, though.
Exactly.
Like
I'm with you on
WWE
that.
Unreal. I like
Love it.
that. I love that.
Love it.
6 months, a year ago, we're going to find out more about that stuff now.
I'm so ready for season two. I can't even put it into
Yeah,
words. Like
yeah,
but I love that WWE is kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit
yeah, yeah.
because let's be honest, we're grown men. We know it's scripted.
Yeah.
We know
You
that
don't
outcomes
say.
are predetermined. Like so for me, like for them to pull the curtain back, like I'm looking forward to seeing them pull the curtain back on the Cena retirement tour.
Yeah,
Like I want to see the behind the scenes. I want to
yeah.
know, you know, what input he had on some of these decisions and things like that. Like I like that. I like to know the inner workings. And so when WWE Unreal came out, I was ecstatic. I watched it all in one sitting. I'll watch the second season in one sitting, and then I'll probably go back and watch it all again because
Yeah.
I love to see that.
Seeing all the pivots and what,
Yeah.
what was originally supposed to happen, how they pivoted, and what we got instead.
Yeah.
Season one, when they laid out how the Cena heel turn came about and who thought of it first, who got a hold of who, and then just the chain of this person contacted that person, then contacted that person, then got a hold of The Rock, then got a hold of Ari Emanuel, and then got just the whole rabbit hole of who contacted who and just the chain of command
And how
of
quick
who all it went through. And it was just like, oh my gosh.
and how quick it all happened. Like it was an idea 1 second, and the next second they're putting it into play. You know, like I love that.
Like I'm looking at the guy behind the curtain. I'm staring directly at Oz. Like it was incredible.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I don't want to know about it in the moment though. I don't want to know
Right.
about it, let alone the day of or in the time leading up to. Something happens. You can tell me about it 6 months or a year from now. I don't want to know what's going on in real time going into
Absolutely.
day
But
to day,
after
week
the
to week.
after the fact, yes, let's pull the curtain back and like I think it's still on Peacock, but when it was on WWE Network, they had a show called The Day of, and
Yep.
they would record superstars on the day of big events and stuff. And unfortunately, they didn't do a ton of them, but I loved that show. I want to see, I want to see all of it. I want to see how the production is done. I want to see how the stages are built. I want to see how the pyro is tested and how they practice their walk-ins. And I want to see it all, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's fascinating, even to non-fans, and I think part of that is for non-fans.
right.
If it's like, listen, folks, because those of us that have loved this and watched this all our lives, I'm in my 40s, you're in your 40s. I discovered this at age 7. I don't know, you were probably the same age or maybe even younger. But when we started watching, I don't know about you, but I didn't know it wasn't entertainment. I thought it was.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was real. I thought, I mean, I was a little 7-year-old naive kid, but I thought it was real. When Jake the Snake DDT'd that guy and drove his head into the mat, and I thought the guy was done for.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And then, of course, the snake's going to almost swallow the guy whole because the guy was knocked unconscious from a DDT. So, do you remember like the moment when like you were watching and you were just kind of like, oh, they were right. It's not real. It's still awesome to watch. We don't care.
I can't pinpoint
but-
a moment. I just know as I watched as I got older, you just started picking up on things like, oh well, that punch didn't even really land. He didn't really hit him with that. But now some of the wrestlers were really good about making it look real, and then some were not so good. And so it was those moments. But now, in the spirit of saying it's not real, if you've ever sat ringside at an event, it's a lot more real than people like to say. It may be scripted, but there's a lot of real contact, and that mat, that's real.
I can attest.
Body slam yourself on your hardwood floor, you know what I'm saying, and see
Yep.
how that feels.
That's exactly what I say. I've been in a ring before. I have sparred. I've done some stuff in a ring, and I can tell you right now that the mat is not a trampoline.
Absolutely.
It is what it is as advertised. It is wood and steel, with padding over it and the canvas mat covering it. That's it. If you have like a carpeted living room floor, take a fall on it.
Yeah.
Tuck your chin, square your shoulders, and just fall yourself backwards on that thing. That's what wrestling feels like. It's that over and over again, and you're conditioning yourself to take the punishment. That is exactly what this is. So, yeah, fake, no. Scripted entertainment, absolutely 100%. And to your point a while ago, and some guys were, they work stiffer than others. Let's just say. I can tell you right now, the best way to get a clothesline over is to actually do a clothesline. There is no such thing as faking a clothesline. You get your head taken off, and that's just that. There are a lot of moves like that where you take it, it hurts, and that's just part of it. There's no smoke and mirroring a clothesline. There's no smoke and mirroring a chop to the chest, especially from Gunther.
Well, and you see the handprints.
You see the handprints. You see your chest look like hamburger. Yeah, and I mean, it's just, yeah, it's hard. It's rough. It's not soft. It isn't. I wish it was. That's what I'd be doing now, but it's not. I mean, I still wish I was doing it. Don't get me wrong, but I remember the moment watching as a young kid where I was like, "Oh, they were right. It's not altogether real." WrestleMania 8, there was an 8-man tag. It was the Nasty Boys, the Mountie, and Repo Man, if I remember correctly, against the Big Boss Man, Virgil, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, and Sergeant Slaughter. And Brian Knobbs of the Nasty Boys took a punch, and it was like 1 second, 2 seconds, and then he sold it. Oh, he reacted like way after the fact that it happened. I was like, oh, okay. So, but by that time, me as a fan, I didn't care. It was still awesome. The greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Just didn't need anything else. Wrestling was it for me, always. I was into other things, got into other things, but I mean, wrestling was it. If nothing else interested me, or if I didn't give a crap about anything else, as long as I had this, I was good to go. And of course, as the years have gone on too, since the 90s, since the 2000s, I mean, it's been more and more kind of brought to light, and the curtain hasn't been just kind of all the way pulled back, but just kind of cracked a little bit as the years go on. Of, this is entertainment. They changed the name to World Wrestling Entertainment. I mean, lawsuit or not, it is more fitting as to what this actually is. It's entertainment. Sure. So, and I know back in the day, Vince made that decision. Number one, to get the state athletic commissions off his back. And that way he wouldn't have to pay taxes if they ran shows in certain places. So, yeah. And he just didn't want to insult any fans' intelligence anymore. Like, listen. Yeah. And also, if you watch and you see guys trading punches, or like the old 10 punches in the corner with the crowd counting along, and there's not a bruise on the guy's face.
Right.
Come on, let's think about this. Okay. But still, I mean, it's, we watch TV shows and movies and everything else, and it's all scripted and entertainment, and no one bats an eye or says anything. This is no different.
Right.
I say it's no different, but there also happens to be nothing like this in the world. It's its own entity unto itself, and that's why we love it. There's just nothing else like it in the world. It's been a great ride to be on. It still is a great ride to be on. It's a ride that I don't ever want to get off of. So, and that's why we're here, why we're going to be here every week. Speaking of rides, this is Rusty and Billy's Wrestling Adventure. This little post is just to kind of test audio and just kind of see where we stand with everything. There's just some things going on that we had to get online and talk about, and just kind of get our voices out there and talk about before our official launch. So we used it as an excuse to do that. This is going to be a full-on video show. We're going to have some state-of-the-art stuff. Nobody's doing anything quite like this, I assure you. This is going to be a great time. It's going to be a great big thing for us, hopefully for you guys as fans as well. Hopefully you guys welcome us into your lives along with the WWE product, and hopefully we can be a great companion piece for you, something you guys can watch and listen on to just kind of on the side, alongside your fandom as well. I can tell you this, we're going to try to make this show the show that we would like to see in here. I can speak for myself. I guess I can speak for you too, Russ.
Absolutely.
We're going to make this kind of the recap show, or just the show of just whatever we want to talk about in the business that we would like to see in here. So hopefully you guys, hopefully we guys capture your guys' hearts and attentions in that as well.
And with that being said, we want to hear from you guys. So when you guys listen to this, and if you've got an opinion or a take, we want to know what you have to say. We want to know what you feel, what you think. So don't be afraid to comment. Let us know. Let us know what you think about the Cena retirement tour. Let us know what you think about that final match. Let us know what you think about Gunther. And we look forward to hearing your comments. We'll read some on the show sometimes. So feel free to let us know what you think. There's no such thing as a wrong opinion. So don't hesitate to let us know how you feel. So, like you said, this is Rusty and Billy's Wrestling Adventure. So moving on, Billy. I know here's another hot thing that's going on right now in the wrestling world. So we've got the Vision. Okay. Past few weeks we've had this masked man come out, do a little curb stomp or whatever. Lots of speculation. I think most people thought it was Austin Theory. Again, basically because the rumor mill was that he was healthy and ready to come back. I think had that not happened, I don't know that anybody would have guessed him, but all that kind of talk, you knew he was healthy coming back. He reveals himself looking like Justin Timberlake, and it was. I did not expect the shaved head. That threw me off a little bit.
He looks fine with it. I mean, we're not
Yeah, I
saying
mean,
that.
it looks fine. It looks fine. It just, the look is so different than what you've ever seen from him, but that's not a bad thing. But how do you feel about Theory being the masked man?
Well, first of all, I did think it was Austin Theory at Survivor Series, and I hadn't seen or heard the rumor mill because I stay away from that stuff by and large. So I didn't know if and when Theory was going to come back, or when he would be ready to. I assumed it was Theory just based on body language, just based on it just looks like kind of the way he stood and the way he kind of stepped, here and there. It looked like it was Austin Theory to me. Like the next week or two, I would have said it was Montez Ford. The guy just looked like Montez Ford to me. Who's to say it wasn't? Who's to say there isn't more than one masked man? Maybe there's a second one. Maybe it is Montez Ford. Maybe a little far-fetched, but I'm kind of doubting myself even now that I'm saying it. But yeah, Austin Theory was the masked man as revealed on Raw this past week. I think as far as the buzz cut goes, he looks more edgy, but he's someone that probably needs a little bit more edge, and needs to be kind of a, for lack of a better word, pissed off.
Yeah.
Just kind of an angry individual that lets that fuel him.
Well, he should be angry because they made a mockery of him with his Money in the Bank. Let's be honest about that.
100%,
Like they
100%.
made a mockery of him with that, and then they turned him into a comedy act. Which, don't get me wrong, he was funny. He was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed, him and Grayson Waller together. They
Tag team champions at WrestleMania.
Right.
It's not like they didn't have success.
Right. And they were entertaining. I like a little humor, but I just felt like he was going down that dangerous road of, now all you are is a novelty act.
Being stuck in the mid card and being stuck in this sector of talent and of the show.
Well, and being a Santino Morello or an R-Truth where, well, now you're the funny guy, that's all you're ever going to be. So I like bringing them back. I like bringing the edge to him. I like like you said, the pissed off character, like the anger in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like that was good to see. I like that. I'm curious to see where they go with the Vision with him. I'm a little confused with how the Vision's going right now, so I'm hoping over the next few weeks they connect some dots there so that we can kind of get an idea of what's going on within the Vision.
And it was CM Punk, I believe, that he stomped at Survivor Series. Was it Punk that he stomped this week on Raw as well? Or was that LA Knight? No, wait.
No,
they took LA Knight out. They took LA Knight out viciously 2 weeks ago. That's right. Oh, it was Ray.
It was Ray. It was
But
Ray.
then CM Punk came out to help Ray.
Right.
And then that's when the masked man hit.
Right.
So I'm thinking it was Punk that he got to again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back. I watched the show, and then I don't watch anything else back pretty much. I like as far as highlights, as far as recaps go, I
think what happened was when Punk came out, he retreated and kind of went part way up the ramp and then pulled the hood off and had a stare down with them. And so
I wonder if it's just an issue with Punk. Maybe it has nothing to do with the Vision.
Maybe.
Or maybe Paul Heyman's full of crap, which he's been known to be before. And it's a setup by Paul Heyman and the Vision all along. We'll see. We'll find out. That's going to unfold as the weeks go on. But I was not surprised in the least that it was Austin Theory that pulled the hood off and there he stood. Not surprised at all, because that's pretty much what I think 80% of us, if not more, thought it was thought that's who it was to begin with.
I hope they don't fumble him again. I feel like they have in the past. I feel like I feel like he's extremely talented in the ring. He's great on the mic. Like, he's not one that I've ever felt like needed a mouthpiece. You know, he didn't need a Paul Heyman to speak for him. He's done very well. And so I hope that they take advantage of his talent, because I felt like for years they kind of fumbled his character.
Yeah, and well, during that time there was also a regime change.
True.
Some stuff happened with Vince, and you guys can Google that. And if you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, Google it.
And Theory was a Vince boy. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
he was
Without
Vince's
saying
guy.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
Vince was all in on Theory, and
Yeah.
and had the other stuff not happened, I think Theory probably would have already had a world title reign or two.
I would agree.
Because I think
At least shots at it.
I think how Triple H shot Jay to the moon, I think that's what Vince was going to do with Theory. You know, and I think when the whole regime change happened, it was like, well, Theory, you're not our boy. So now you're going to cash in for, what was it, the United States Championship? Like,
Yes.
like that didn't even make any sense, man. I was like, this is stupid.
That had never happened before.
No.
And traditionally, the Money in the Bank was always for a world title opportunity when you saw fit, and he cashed in on the U.S. title, which he did win, and he did beat Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley at Survivor Series that year, 2022, in a triple threat match. So that's a huge W. I'm trying to think who were the world champions at that time. We didn't have the World Heavyweight Championship yet. We still had the WWE and the Universal
I
title
was
at
about
the
to say,
time.
it was WWE and Universal.
So it was Roman, had both. It was Roman that had both. So, yeah.
You wasn't cashing in on him.
No, that's so. I think, yeah, that some previous creative and some current creative kind of collided there, and it didn't make sense. And they just tried to make the best of it. You know, talking inside baseball as best we can. Of course, we weren't there. We were. It's not like we weren't at the we weren't at the table of creative. Basically, right. We have no idea. We're just kind of spitballing and speculating. But and it was years ago now.
But I think this is one of those situations where the Theory injury might have benefited him in the long run, you know, because, like I said, he was kind of turning into a comedy act with Grayson Waller. Now, you could see there was a split coming between them, but I felt like they had teased that for over a year.
They fought for weeks and weeks and months, it seemed. Well, and with Theory being gone due to injury, there's also an opportunity there for a reset, and that's what this is for him, is a reset. And he needed that, and hopefully he'll take advantage of it. This time.
He did, because you see what it did to Grayson Waller. You know, with Theory's injury, now Grayson Waller's kind of a comedic act with the New Day, and it doesn't even, like, I watch it and it doesn't even make sense.
It's like
it's almost like they're trying to rework how Sami Zayn was with the Bloodline, but it's like they're doing it with him in the New Day, and
not even close.
It just don't even, it don't fit at all. Like, because it was great how Sammy inserted himself into the Bloodline and worked his way into their good graces and all that. Like, that was theatric. That was beautiful. But when I saw him doing this with Grayson Waller in the New Day, it just gave me those vibes again. And I was like, I've already seen this movie with better characters. I don't need to see it with these guys. Like, and I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of what's going on there. I'm thankful that Theory got out of that trap and is now being seemingly propelled and getting the push that I felt like he's deserved for a long time.
True.
And I look forward to seeing where that goes. I don't know if, there's a breakup in store for the Vision or what. The whole Seth Rollins injury kind of messed that all up anyway.
Yeah, that's as injuries do, and it's always unfortunate. And it's always at the worst time ever when someone gets hurt. It always is.
But here's my thought on that with Seth is, has Seth won a title without controversy? Like, has he won a title where it wasn't like a weird cash in or something like that? Because it just seems like his two main title reigns that you think about that were both cut short with injury were just these stupid cash ins, and it's just like, I don't know. It seems like he always gets on top the short way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, first of all, he has won a title fair and square. He won the first WWE World Heavyweight Championship against AJ Styles, the finals of the tournament in Saudi. That was fair and square. And you say stupid cash-ins. They're not stupid cash-ins.
I mean,
WrestleMania 31 is one of the best cash-ins of all time. SummerSlam this past year, when he faked the injury, he was on crutches, walking up and down the street for a month. Had literally had his daughter fooled, had Rich Eisen fooled, had the world fooled, and then just threw the crutches off and cashed in on Punk. Oh my gosh!
I'll give you
amazing.
I'll give you that. That was genius.
That doesn't happen today.
No, that was
awesome.
genius. How everybody. I mean, we were all fooled.
Yeah.
If you say you weren't, you're lying. Everybody was fooled. We were all fooled. I think what I mean by, instead of maybe stupid cash-ins, not the best way to put it, because that is the point of the Money in the Bank. But it's just like,
You're saying due to cash-ins, period.
yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, his pushes just to me are tainted because it seems like they're always just cash-ins. But again, that's the business. You win it how you got to, and as a heel especially, you know,
You wouldn't be as good a bad guy if you won it fair and square.
Right. So
There's psychology here, folks.
Yeah.
It's things go together in our ways for reasons. You know, if you're a bad guy, you know, if you won everything fair and square, would you be a bad guy?
yeah,
No, I mean
that's
unless you're
valid.
Gunther and you can just destroy anybody you want to.
Right.
You know, that's certainly not who Seth Rollins is. Seth Rollins isn't going to chop you to death and lock you in a sleeper hold and call it a day, regardless of who you are. That's just not Seth's style.
And you got to give him credit on how he sold that injury in the ring. Like that
Yeah.
was when he hit that moonsault or whatever and landed, and the way he jumped up off that knee, you thought, yep, he's hurt. Like that's like, I watched that so many times because there were a couple people saying, what if it's fake? What if it's fake? And it's just like, there's no way that's fake. Like,
Yeah.
the way he pulled the ref over and the way that match ended, like, it all was just like,
Yeah.
that's how a match ends when there's a legitimate injury.
Yeah.
So whoever came up with that in creative and wrote that story out, props to them, man. Like, maybe you need to be over more of these matches and scripts and stories, because that was genius.
Yeah, I thought it was real. And
I mean,
was,
it's got us questioning his injury now.
Well,
is it real? Like,
I think we'll find out. No, this injury's real. I don't think they'll be doing this. I mean,
Right.
surely to goodness you wouldn't take.
you're not going to strip him of a title, though. Yeah. But I'm
Absolutely
just
not.
saying, like, initially everyone's like, well, is he really hurt? Like, what's going on? But
Because of the previous
Right.
situation, yeah. So the match against LA Knight, Saturday night's main event. All of a sudden, he just comes up lame, and LA Knight gets the win, and it's kind of like, that's it. The match was just kind of like what it was. They had to go home real quick because Seth got hurt. So we thought at the time Seth got hurt, and I think maybe he did.
yeah.
Maybe they just turned a negative into a positive. Maybe he was okay, and they were just like, hey, you know, maybe someone in the back was like, hey, I know you're hurt for now, but you're gonna be okay by SummerSlam. Hey, let's keep this on the down low, and let's just kind of ride this and let's fool everybody, and it's gonna be some good stuff, pal.
Well, that's an interesting take. What if
That was
he?
my
What if
best
he?
Triple H impression.
I knew exactly who you were doing, by the way. But I wonder if maybe it was like a tweak. Maybe he did land funny and tweak it, and maybe to not hurt it anymore, they did the weird finish to the match, but then after an evaluation, it's like, oh, I'm good. Okay, you just need some rest and recovery. Bam. Well, let's do this. Let's play it out like this. And maybe in the next season of Unreal, maybe we get a little glimpse at that.
That's what I was gonna say.
That would be awesome. But now you hit on something that I know it wasn't in our notes to talk about, but I can't refrain from it, and that is LA Knot. Because I was talking a while ago about the fumble of Austin Theory. Are we fumbling LA Knot? Because the guy, I don't know that there's ever been a superstar more over that gets no accolades, man. Like, this guy is over. And I'm going to tell you right now, when he first came in with the LA Knight character after being all those other things he was, I thought, this guy ain't never going to make it. He's a Timu, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think it would go over. I thought, this is stupid. People aren't going to buy this. And the fans ate it up. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm a fan. Like, I never thought I would be an LA Knot fan. With everybody, shut up is what I wanted to say every time he would do it. Like, nobody wants to say that. Shut your mouth. But now I love it. Like, now I'm all in. Like, I love the way he carries himself. I love the attitude. I love all of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, can the guy catch a break, man?
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
golly.
It's funny. When LA Knight first showed up in NXT as LA Knight, those of us that have seen and watched at least, parts of his career leading up to that point, TNA and wherever else, it's like, he'd been there before. He'd been signed to the PC before, never got out of, you know, training and never got on air in NXT at that time and got let go. The only thing he ever did with a camera in front of him was, take part in the Triple H workout DVD. I didn't even know he was signed at that time, and I know just about everything, and I didn't even know he was signed. So then, what I knew about him was what I knew from like Impact Wrestling. Him and Drew McIntyre and the man we know as Tongaloa now. They had that group. So it's like when he came into NXT, we know he's a little older than, and it's no knock because I mean we're probably older than he is. I don't know, but a little older than the talent that they were bringing in at the time, and certainly have since. Yeah, he does. There are some clear influences of Stone Cold, Rock, that whole Attitude Era period on him. There's no doubt about it.
But I feel like we can't knock that because
Not at all.
I mean, you can't help but be influenced by the people you watch.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not knocking that at all. Oh,
So,
no. Oh, no, not at all.
right.
What I'm saying is, back then when he came into NXT, it's kind of like, I think a lot of people were like, okay, why should we buy into this guy now? He's been around for years. He's been doing this for years elsewhere. He's here now. What kind of a future does he really have here? And I'm not, and I hate to say that about anybody. I'm not knocking LA Knight. By all means, we're fans. We're just guys sitting here recording a show. What do we know, right? We're not in the trenches. We're not wrestlers.
But not saying that, and not to interrupt, but it just makes me think, man, like I would love to sit down with LA Knight and want to know, like,
yeah,
how you
see what I did there?
how you found a way to reinvent yourself, time and time again, like just the willpower to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it would have been easy to quit, when it never took off. It never took off. And honestly, when he first started with the LA Knight character, I felt like it took it a minute to take off. Like I thought, well, this guy's going to be on a few shows. He's not getting much response. He'll be the WWE main event show guy, for a little bit, and then we won't hear from him again. But he just kept coming and almost forced his way into the hearts of the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's exactly what he did.
I would absolutely love us to sit down and talk to him and just know the mindset behind all that, to overcome all that and to keep pushing and just continuously reinvent yourself until it sticks.
Yeah, I mean, he forced his way into our hearts and minds, and we love him now. We're rooting for him. The point I'm making is that contrast.
Yeah.
Now he's there, and now we're there with him, and now we want him to crash the glass ceiling, and whereas before we probably couldn't have cared less,
Right.
or we had our doubts, if that. So, and even he did well in NXT, and then got caught up on the SmackDown was Max Dupree.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, there's that. And then the regime change happened, and Max Dupree went bye-bye, and we got LA Knight back. And when LA Knight got back, that's when we got behind him. That's when he was able to shine, and that's why he's here now, and why he's been here with us ever since, and why we're with him now ever since.
For me, he went from being the guy that I was pissed off that he was on the show to now I'm the guy that's pissed off that he's not got a title. Like,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like that's what he's done to me with his just, I would say, consistency week in and week out.
Yeah.
Like I've really gained a lot of respect for him as far as the business, as far as just the way he goes about it week in and week out. Because it would be easy to be a guy like him being that over with the fans and losing all these big matches, losing these opportunities, for title matches or Cena's last match or all that, like to constantly feel like you're right there at the hump and never get over it.
Yeah, I know.
Like it would be easy to have some bitterness there. And so I'm hoping in his comeback, we're going to be getting into the Royal Rumble, and I can't wait to get into all of that, in the next couple of weeks, in the build up for that. Go Roman. But, what do you do with him going forward when he comes back?
Yeah, we'll see. And I think there's an audience out there that, not unlike myself, perhaps you as well, but definitely speaking for myself, those of us that are a little older, that have the coulda, woulda, shouldas in life, we want to see someone our age just kind of ignore hate, and just who cares how old I am? I'm gonna get up and do
Persevere.
it. I'm gonna get up and do this thing anyway. I don't
Absolutely.
care how old I am. I don't care if these kids that are just breaking into this place, I don't care if I'm old enough to be their dad or not. I'm gonna get up and do this thing that I should have done 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I'm doing right here, right now with this show.
Yeah.
I have longed for an opportunity to be a part of this business. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And for right now, this is it for me. And hopefully this grows into something, bigger, better, and more for me, you too. But just speaking for myself, that would hit me in a place that, it would be, that would be a real moment for so many fans like me. Just seeing a guy that we counted out.
Yeah.
And he came on the scene and got the people behind him. We don't care if he's 40, whatever it is. He's ours, and we want to see him reach the tippy top of this industry.
Absolutely.
So, Knight, if you hear this, we are behind you.
We're pulling for you, man. We're pulling for you.
We want you to crash the glass ceiling with those Timbs, and just all your charisma and just everything you got. And with everybody saying L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the first episode of Rusty and Billy's Wrestling Adventure. Make sure you like, share, comment, follow, all those great social media things, and stay tuned. Lots of great things in store.